Welcome back to the chaos of my college football reset series. Last episode, the New Mexico Lobos finished their season with some redemption, dominating Boise State. We also saw the Louisville Cardinals take home the national championship in a win against Wisconsin. Now let's move on to the offseason. We can take a quick look at the coaching carousel, but it's really not important. Only 2 jobs are open, and we are not hunting until we win a championship. Players leaving is also pretty boring. The oldest players in the league are sophomores, so no one is even eligible to leave. Transfer requests, also boring. No one wants to come here. Now we get to the fun stuff, the recruiting. Before we look at my big offseason targets, let's go over the commitments we already have. I'll be going in position order. First up is tight end Shador Turner, one of my day 1 targets that finally committed before bowl season. He's a great athlete at tight end, but also shows promise as a blocker. Could be a day 1 starter. Then we have tackle Azizi Mostert, a 2-star player with good size but not much else. Could be a depth piece if we don't land some bigger fish. We also have Nykobe Amos in a similar spot at defensive end. He's a decent athlete, but he would need to redshirt and develop a few years before he hits the field. Walker Littlejohn is a different story. He's one of our biggest additions at defensive tackle in multiple ways. A 4-star defensive tackle with great strength and block shedding. He'll have the inside track to start next season. At outside linebacker, we have Sadani Dawson, a JUCO sophomore but one with the skill set to be a day 1 starter for our defense. And finally, Vinny McVeigh, an athlete with solid speed. The goal is to have him play in the defensive backfield where we could use all the help we can get. Now I'll do the same thing I did last season. I'm going to go over my top targets in the offseason. Then we'll skip to signing day to go over any additions we snag. Our top target is Zeron Seiler, a defensive end who looks incredible, would almost certainly start day 1 with his power, size, and acceleration. Next is Marshawn Boydell, a 4-star athlete with great athleticism across the board. Would likely be at cornerback and immediately push for playing time. Third is Brian Carter, another athlete but a 3-star this time. I really like his skill set at wide receiver. We aren't exactly thin there, but even so, he could be special. Fourth is Kamari Thurman, a JUCO junior at tackle, but he has the skills to be a 4-star if he was a normal recruit. Would be an improvement over anyone we currently have. Fifth is Dave Ellis, a true wide receiver. Doesn't have the athleticism of Carter, but at 6'7", he's a weapon in the making. Sixth is Delane McWilliams, the first target where we are struggling to gain ground. He's a tiny halfback, but he has the skills to make up for it, and then some. Seventh is Treston Williams, another athlete. He's got an interesting mix of skills. I would probably move him to tight end where he could develop. Eighth is Jamari Linderbaum. He's listed as a tight end, but he lacks athleticism there. My goal is to move him to the interior offensive line. Walk-on level tight ends seem to be better at blocking than the linemen. Ninth is Hutch Fumiano, a cornerback with some decent athleticism to go with his great name. Would need to develop, but he has potential. 10th is Yamal Walker, a 1-star athlete that looks like a gem. Based on his rankings and skills, he's likely listed at cornerback, but he would be much better on offense. Along with my top 10, there are a couple more that I'm interested in. Another 1-star athlete, Scooter Domsky. He has some elite acceleration, could likely develop on the defensive line as a pass rusher. Guard Demarion Hinton, another JUCO junior. Our guard spots are pretty solid. He would probably kick out to the other tackle if we get him. Tackle Anthony Thomas, a 1-star, but he has some good strength. Definitely redshirt and develop, but he could eventually be a good run blocker. Bodie McKenzie, yet another 1-star at defensive tackle. He's another JUCO junior. He's got the athleticism and strength to move to left end where he's almost certainly starting. And my most recent find, JD Purcell, a 2-star athlete with A+ in break tackle. I think he's another guy who prefers to play defense despite having incredible offensive skills. He looks like the steal of the class. We have 5 weeks of recruiting to try to nail down as many as we can. Wish me luck. And with the magic of editing, here we are at signing day. Let's see what we managed to get. At quarterback, I found and managed to get a commitment from Timmy Kirby. A JUCO junior seems to be the theme of the class. I do not expect him to start over Medlock, but he's a nice insurance option in case the worst happens. He should be able to keep the offense afloat for stretches. At halfback, we did not get McWilliams, so I settled for Gabari Paget. A 2-star halfback with a similar build to McWilliams, but nowhere near the athleticism. He's likely getting cut if any of our athletes can play halfback. At wide receiver, we did get a commitment from Dave Ellis. We got 1 target so far. Make that 2, we locked down Linderbaum at tight end, but again, he'll likely be moved to the line. At tackle, we got both our guys. We got the potential future with Anthony Thomas and an instant starter in Thurman. Welcome aboard, guys. At guard, we did not manage to get any commitments, but at defensive end, we got our man, Zoran Seiler. Big addition there. We also got Bodie McKenzie, who will also fill in at the edge if I have my way. Unfortunately, no commitments from cornerbacks, but at athlete, we did pretty well for ourselves. We got commitments from Boydell, Carter, and Purcell. Didn't get everybody we wanted, but those are some major additions if I've ever seen them. An old friend of ours also found himself a new home. Chris Myers, our former starting quarterback, has committed to the Arizona Wildcats. Congratulations to him and his new team. I'm tempted to alter their depth chart to make him the starting quarterback for year 3. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that idea. Looking at the recruiting rankings, we finished at 85th, but that's based on stars only. I think we found some real gems. Not to mention the lower ranked JUCO players who should start immediately. Still, I think not allowing myself to sway recruits' interests is making everything more realistic. Now let's look at the top 10. Sitting at first is Texas yet again with 5 5-stars and 11 4-stars, a ridiculous class. Florida Atlantic comes in at second with 12 4-stars. UCLA comes in right behind them with 15 4-stars but less 3-stars than FAU. Stanford matches Texas's 5-star count but finishes 4th with a top-heavy class. Rice is sitting 5th with 2 5-stars and 9 4-stars, with Penn State right behind them with the same blue chip count. South Carolina finishes 7th just like in the end-of-year rankings, matching the record of 5 5-stars. Our in-conference rival, San Diego State, sits at 8 with 3 5-stars and 5 4-stars, going to be hard to keep pace. Kansas State is at 9th with 1 5-star and 7 4-stars, and Memphis closes out the top 10 with 1 5-star and 4 4-stars. When we get further in the series, I would love to do some videos discussing the careers of the top recruits in classes. Looking at this year's top dogs, the Louisville Cardinals sit at 75th, ironically 1 spot ahead of their rivals, the Kentucky Wildcats. Now let's change some positions. I moved Jamari Linderbaum to center where he's a 52 overall, not too shabby. Anthony Thomas moves to right tackle. No overall change, just feels like his natural position. I also move Azizi Mostert to center, but he's still very low. Micah Pugh, our starting left tackle this season, moves to right tackle. Thurman seems to have left tackle nailed down and Pugh can compete for a starting job on the right side. Just like I envisioned, I moved Bodie McKenzie to left end where he is a lower but still solid 60 overall. Another returning player, Jared McBride, has moved from outside linebacker to right end. I just noticed he has the size and skill set to be a solid edge rusher. His overall increases to 51. Now for the athletes. Brian Carter appears to be a natural wide receiver with a 66 overall in the position. To the shock of no one, Marshawn Boydell moves to corner where he has an overall of 60. JD Purcell, the gem of the class, is everything I had hoped for. He moves to halfback where he has a 77 overall, which is absurd for the league right now. He's a little thin for the position, but he'll develop. I also initially moved Vinny McVay to corner, but he'd be buried on the depth chart. So I moved him to free safety where he has a much clearer path to playing time. I also decided to move Gabari Padgett to wide receiver just to try and keep him safe from cuts, but with his speed, he's unlikely to make the team at any position. That's the last of the position changes, so let's move on to training results. Let's see some gains, boys. Pretty solid improvements all around. Medlock only improves by 4, which is a little disappointing given his season. Adams sees some huge improvement going up by 6, which is surprising going into his junior year. Cook also has a disappointing offseason, only increasing by 3. Same with David Bryant, only a 3-point gain for our star guard, getting outdone by Devron Kelly. But I wouldn't mind Kelly improving next season. Pugh and Sanders stay in lockstep with a +4 each. At defensive tackle, Cross falls to our 4th highest overall, including freshman, but he's still my favorite defensive tackle. Most of our defensive players see about average improvement. Pretty good for the defensive backs, but we get another disappointing offseason for a star recruit. Foreman only gets a +3, but we might just have a solid kicking game after Gene gets a +6. Overall, happy with the team. Now it's time for the most depressing part of the offseason, cutting players. We are 18 over the cap, so that's how many players we need to cut this year. Starting with Tom Reed. He redshirted his first year, but we have too many quarterbacks with better potential and more production ahead of him. Next is Raymond Givens. He was our starting halfback, but he's long since been replaced by Nathan Adams. He was a great player for us, but just couldn't stay healthy. Come on, Givens. Good run. Attaboy, Givens. Breaking tackles like it's his job. Givens is having a great game today. If we can just stop holding, it would be great. great read. Oh, man. We got a ball player here. Look at that. 3rd and goal at the 2. Let's go, Gibbons. Get in there. Breaks the tackle and gets in the end zone. Showing the power. 2-score game. Atta boy. Will Joseph, wide receiver. Another first-season redshirt, but has not kept up with the infusion of talent. Gabari Padgett also doesn't make the squad, just doesn't have the speed to work in my system. Similar situation, but a harder decision for Anthony Jones. Another original starter, but he just doesn't have the athleticism for what we want to do. We'll never forget his big plays from Season 1. Bombs it. Catches it. Oh, Jones, you beast. You beast. Oh, terrible read. Terrible read. He was completely covering it, but still. Great catch. Just over the top. Just mossed him. Beautiful play. We set him up for it all drive. Now let's see if we can take advantage of it. Throws it, and he's got a wide open guy. Breaks a tackle into the end zone. Atta boy Jones. Way to show the power there. Throws it deep, wide open. Get going, Jones. Come on. Come on, show some speed. And, oh, they missed the tackle. That's going to be a touchdown. Atta boy. Got behind the defense and never looked back. Alright, Myers drops back. He's looking. He's got time. Throws it deep, and it is caught! Holy crap, Jones! Back of the end zone. Toe touch, full extension. Beautiful play there. Myers showing off the arm. Absolutely wonderful. Let's see if we can hit a wide receiver screen here. Nobody's open. Hits him. He's got a blocker. He's got 2 blockers. He's got some space. He's going. Jones is into the end zone after a great run after the catch there. Beautiful play. Williams with the fake. He's looking. He winds up to throw it deep, and he's got a man. Jones with a great catch. Breaks a tackle and gets down near the 10. Huge play there. Warren Butler is the final cut at wide receiver. Yet another early redshirt who just hasn't kept up. At tight end, we cut Alvin McKenzie. He's been buried on the bench during his career, and we need space for our star freshman. We're going to try and break tendency. We're lining up a strong formation, but we're play action out of it. Headlock's looking, throws it, got a completion. Nice job. That is our 3rd string tight end making the catch. At tackle, we cut Fred Harris. He was a late recruiting addition who just doesn't have a spot. To be honest, I don't think I ever saw him commit to us. Adam Brewer. We kept him on the roster so Handy could redshirt, but now we just don't have a need for him. Azizi Mostert is the next to go. He was our first commitment this year, and I tried to help him out, but he just can't compete. Derek Hawley. Another center who we just can't afford to make room for with our recent additions. Jason Tanner at tackle. He's not our lowest overall tackle, but I'm very interested in Thomas's potential, so I'm making space for him. Nikobe Amos, our second commitment who also just doesn't have the skills to keep up with the squad. Rob Hayes, he's been a backup for the past couple seasons, but we just got some major players on the D-line now. Allie McPherson, middle linebacker who was downgraded to 3rd string this last season, and I'm more interested in Brady Gibson's future development. Shane Riley, another career backup, and with him being a junior, I just don't think he has a path to playing time. One forced fumble by Shane Riley, the backup right outside linebacker, and he recovered his own fumble. And a blocked punt, I'd have to assume. Shane Riley. Oh, that must be the forced fumble is the blocked punt. All right. Special teams. Eric Godfrey, free safety who was always buried, and we can't afford a spot for what is now a 4th stringer. Finally, DeMarcus Schmidt, another year 1 redshirt who just can't keep up with our newest talent. A major thank you to all the players who unfortunately couldn't make the squad for Season 3. I'll talk to the dean and see if we can continue to honor your scholarships until you graduate. Now, please enjoy New Mexico's spring game for Season 3. Welcome to the New Mexico spring game for Year 3. A matchup between the red and the white team. The red team are the returning starters, and the white team are the challengers. So that means backups and any incoming freshmen or JUCO players. This should be a fun one. There are quite a few freshmen and JUCO players that I'm very excited to see in action, and I'm really polling for certain players to win a starting job, but I'm going to try to remain as unbiased as possible. Give playing time to the most deserving players based on how they perform. Andrew Medlock is almost certainly going to be the starting quarterback next season. He had a great year, but we do have a JUCO junior who came to our school, maybe pushing for starting time. We'll have to see. I did turn off all fatigue and injuries for the spring game, and it will be 4-minute quarters. It's a nice little condensed game just to get a feel for who's good and who's not. This should be fun. Let's get into it. White team kicking off to the red team to start this off. You can see Rio Grande rivalry. I replaced New Mexico State with my white team just to make it easier on myself. 2nd and 3 for the red team. I did fix the no huddle from last season. Ooh, and Moss gets a great catch there. He's streaking down the field, and that's down to the 30. But you can see we are not hurrying up anymore, so I did figure out what was going on with that and fixed it. And I might improve my dynasty a little bit now that I know how to do that. Red team threatening once again in the gun at the 30. Not once again, for the first time. A little draw play to Adams, who gets a lot of space, and that's a first down. 10 yards there. He's looking good early. 2nd and 9 in the ace now. 2 receivers to the right. Banks goes across the formation. Hand off to Adams, who, nice little cut there, tackled by, I think that's Nigel Davis. 3rd and 4 now in the ace. I believe the first 3rd down for the red team. They've been efficient. Medlock making some calls at the line. Short drop, throws it, incomplete. Looked like a good press there by the defense. Brings it 4th down. Here's the field goal. Sam Jean will be kicking and punting for the red team. Ashton Gray will be doing it the same for the white team. And that is good. Red team is on the board early. Timmy Kirby leading the white team out, trying to push for playing time. There are quite a few promising freshmen here, including this man, J.D. Purcell. Not the biggest carry in the world. It looks like we might have a hold. Is it the right tackle? Right guard, Eric Johnson. Not a good look for him. Former starter. 1st and 19 after the hold in the I form. Defense is moving a little bit. Hand off to J.D. Purcell, who breaks a tackle and pushes forward. It looks like 9 there, but it looks like there might be another hold. Oh, man. Eric Johnson again. He might get benched in the spring game. That is not a good look. 3rd and 22. Kirby in the gun, looking for big play. Tight end goes across the formation, stops. Kirby's got time. Chucks it deep. Does he have a man? He has an interception. Nice play there by Stephen Green. Possibly starting, free safety. Red team coming out in the I. Hand off to Adams, who, nice cut there, shows some speed and gets 8. He is looking really good so far. 2nd and 2 for the red team, staying in the I here. Rivera goes in motion, hand off to Adams once again, and he's got another nice run. He is looking very good here. 3rd and 7, Medlock in the gun, 5 receiver set. Short drop, pressure's coming, and that is swatted down. Good play there. I didn't see who that was. 4th down, red team is going for it, staying in the gun. Banks going across the formation. Medlock drops. He's got no time, takes a huge sack there. Big play by Dixon, the former starting strong safety. Nice blitz. And that takes us to the end of the first quarter. Red team currently leading by 3. Much closer game than last year. We'll have to see if that changes or if Medlock is going to continue to struggle here. Start of the first, white team in the ace, or start of the second rather. 2 receivers to the right. Short drop for Kirby. Pressure's coming. Floats it downfield. Nice pressure there by Dennis Cross. He looked good there. Red team back on offense. In the gun again. Medlock takes the snap. Short drop. Launches it deep. Does he have a man? He does. Fred Thomas holds on. What a pass. Fred Thomas, I think, is going to stay as our slot receiver. We don't have anyone better for that role. He's great on those routes. Red team in opponent territory in the eye. Short drop for Medlock. Throws it short to Adams, who's got some space. Nice cut outside, but doesn't have the speed to take advantage. 4-yard pickup. 3rd and 8. Fakes the handoff to the fullback. Medlock scrambling. Throws it to Adam once again, who breaks a tackle. Unable to get the first. Pickup of about 4. Red team going on 4th down again in the gun. Handoff to Adams, who plows into a defender but does not get the first. Nice play by that defensive line. White defense steps up again. They're back on the field. Handoff to Purcell, who has a nice cut up there. Breaks another tackle. Gets 5 out of it. Kirby hoping to challenge for starting time, but not doing a great job right now. Receiver in motion. Deep drop by Kirby. Throws it over the middle. That's a catch by Brian Carter, I believe. Promising young freshman. New set of downs for the white team in the ace. Shador Turner going across the formation. Short drop by Kirby. Scrambling, and he takes a sack. James, the spring game warrior, with a sack. Kirby with a short drop. Pressure's coming. Completes it outside. And that is Joshua Garcia with the first. Redshirted last year, hoping to earn some playing time. Oh no, sorry, that's Brian Carter. My bad. 1st and 10 for the white team in the ace. Deep drop by Kirby. Throws it short. Got the completion to Carter, who gets about 6 yards. 2nd and 4 for the white in the ace. Short drop. Gets the completion. Breaks a tackle. That is Andre Rawls strolling into the end zone. That is the first touchdown of the day, and it's for the white team. Nice quick read there by Kirby. Looking better. Medlock comes out trailing in the gun. 1st and 10. Banks going across the formation. White team looking to bring some pressure. They do, but it's a completion to Cook there, and he gets past the 50. Nice little screen pass, and Cook showing that speed that he's known for. 2nd and 10 in the I form here. Handoff to Adams, who gets met in the backfield but breaks a tackle, but there is a flag. That's unfortunate. We'll have to see who it's on. My bet is Devron Kelly. Zach Banks. He's usually a good blocker. 2nd and 17 after the hold. Red team in the ace. Short drop by Medlock, who launches it in there to Cook. 3rd and 1 for the red team in the eye here. Medlock taking his time. Short drop. Throws it. And Banks with the drop. Brings up 4th down. Shocker. Red team going for it in the eye here. One receiver split out. Fullback goes in motion. Medlock's looking. Launches it downfield. And that is going to be dropped by Justin Nelson. 3rd and 10 for the white team in the ace. Deep drop by Kirby. Pressure's coming. Floats it. And that is a catch by Shador Turner. New set of downs in the gun. Kirby drops. Throws it short. Got the completion. Goes out of bounds. 38. Oh, that's Purcell. 2nd and 5 for the white team. In the gun. Turner goes across the formation. Short drop. Kirby launches it deep once again, and that is going to be incomplete, but there is a flag. Likely roughing the passer. We'll have to see who it's on. It is roughing the passer. Dennis Cross. Not a great look, buddy. 19 seconds left. White team in the ace. Turner goes across the formation. Short drop by Kirby, and that is swatted down. Nice play there by Mike Mack. Lining up for the field goal here is Ashton Gray. Good snap. Kick is up. Looks good. Not good. Off the crossbar. And that is going to take us to halftime. White team leading 7-3 here. Last year, the white team really ran away with it and dominated. This year, they're leading. We'll have to see if history repeats itself. Medlock needs to get it together in the second half if he wants to make sure he keeps his job. Oh, I'm sorry. That was J.D. Purcell with the return. White team comes out leading by 4 to start the second half. Tight end goes across the formation. Deep drop by Kirby. Pressure's coming, and he throws it away to Shador Turner, who makes the catch, but I think that's going to lose a yard. 3rd and 9 for the white team. Kirby sets up in the gun. Short drop. Throws over the middle, completes it, and that is going to be a first down. New set of downs for the white team. In the gun still. Handoff to Purcell, and he has a... Ooh, that looks like a face mask by Dennis Cross. Oh, man, I love Dennis Cross, but he's not putting in good tape today. 1st and 10 after the penalty in the ace. Kirby with another deep drop. Pressure coming. He's going to break a sack, and he's going to get tackled after a 3-yard pickup by Slaughter there. 3rd and 6 for the white team in the ace. Let's see if Kirby's got some magic. Turner goes across the formation. Taking his time here. Short drop. Pressure. Throws it out of bounds. Panicked a little bit. 4th and 6, and this time the white team is going for it. Turner goes across the formation. In the gun. Kirby with a short drop. Launches it downfield. Had a wide open touchdown and missed it. 3rd and 6. Red team in a 5-receiver set. Medlock drops. He's looking. Steps in the pocket. Floats a pass over the middle, and he's got a beautiful completion there. Looks like Cook again. Red team beyond the 50 for the 5th time. Medlock drops. Throws it short. Got the completion, and Marshawn Boydell is all over that one. 2nd and 10. Red team in the ace. And that is a false start by Devron Kelly. Right guard making mistakes. Penalty pushes back the red team in the gun here. Bad snap to Medlock. He's looking. Launches it downfield. Does he have a man? No. Nice play by Marshawn Boydell, but there is a flag. And it is roughing the passer. Let's see who it's on. Walker Littlejohn. Getting to the end of the 3rd quarter. Red team in a 5-receiver set. Medlock with a short drop. Launches it downfield. He's got a man. He has a drop, but there is a penalty. That one should have been completed. And it looks like roughing the passer again. Let's see who it's on. Andrew Ross. Red team bailed out again in the heavy ace package here. Tight end goes in motion. Handoff to Adams. Flag on the play, but that's a great run by Adams. Won't count in the stats, but that is good film. Zach Banks with another holding. We get to the 4th quarter of the spring game. Red team is threatening, but the white team still currently leads, but they are leaving a lot of points on the board, both teams are. In the ace here for the red team. Deep drop by Medlock. He's looking, throws it deep. He's got a man. He's got a touchdown. What a throw. What a catch. Fred Thomas. On Vinny McVay again. Just missed the pick. What a play there. 1st and 10 for the white team. Trailing again. Tight end goes across the formation. Fakes the handoff to Purcell. Kirby throws it deep, and he misses an open target. That was Garcia who was running free. 3rd down in the ace bunch. You know how much I love that formation. Kirby with a short drop. Completes it over the middle to Rawls, who is really making his name known. 1st and 10 in the ace. Handoff to Purcell, who breaks a tackle in the hole. And it looks like a team effort there to take him down with Cross and Slaughter. Kirby does bring some athleticism. White team in the ace again. Kirby making a call. Tight end goes across the formation. Short drop. Completes it there. That looked like to Carter once again. White team in opponent territory in the pistol here. Handoff. Fakes the handoff to Purcell. He's got plenty of time. Throws it and completes it. Who is that? I can't tell. That looks like Garcia, who came... Ooh, that's not a good look. Stats look good, but that is full-on illegal Garcia. White team threatening here after the controversial catch in the ace. Kirby with a deep drop, scrambling, and he's going to break a tackle. Gets about 2. Under 2 minutes in the spring game. White team in the gun. Kirby with a short drop, scrambling, and he takes a sack. Dennis Cross making his name known. 3rd and 13 after the sack. White team in the gun. Short drop, pressure's coming. He takes another sack. Big hit there by Coleman. The hero of the Texas game. 4th and 20. White team is going for it. Just over a minute left. In the gun. Kirby drops. He's got time. Steps up. Launches it into the end zone. And that is going to be swatted away. Green there with a great play. Looking to keep his starting job after a couple nice plays today. About a minute left. Red team trying to milk the clock away. Not what I'd like to see, but Adams is looking good. Zaron Seiler, big freshman pickup there. 3rd and 2. Hand off to Adams, who gets the first down, runs through some defenders to do it. So red team could have sat on it. I made them punt it just to give some more film for the white team here. Pressure's coming. Kirby breaks a sack, steps up, and takes a sack. Foreman with the play there. 3rd and 10 here for the white team. Let's see if they can put some good film on at the end. Kirby launches it down the field, and he's got a great catch. Who is that? Is that Carter? It looks like Carter, and that's going to be what would be a walk-off, but we know the red team won. But that is some nice film for Carter. I think he has pretty much secured himself a starting receiver spot because he's been fantastic. Got the speed, got the power, got the route running, the hands. He's looking like our best receiver. That was a nice final moment for Kirby, but I believe Medlock has looked like the better quarterback. So he's going to be starting, but Brian Carter is something else. So that's the end of the game. White team technically wins, but you know that we know that the red team won. We know that. I'm going to watch the film, go over the position battles that I think are up for debate, but we might see a pretty different starting lineup going into year 3 than year 2. I think a lot of the freshmen showed a lot of promise. We might go to more of a committee approach for a lot of stuff, but it's hard to say right now. I think definitely we're going to see a new starting receiver, probably a new starting strong safety, honestly. Foreman was pretty good for us last year, but Dixon played really well today. And then we'll have to see on the defensive line. Dennis Cross, some good, some bad. I'd really like to keep him starting. Former Lombardi Trophy winner. But I don't know. We'll have to see. And that will bring us to the end of Season 2. I hope you enjoyed seeing our newest talent in Albuquerque. I've got some major decisions to make for our starting lineup. You'll have to tune in next year to meet the squad. Well, not actually next year. It will be out sooner than that, I promise. If you enjoyed Season 2, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay tuned. I've been King of Games, and I really hope to see you next time.